Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our webinar for City and Guilds Key Stage 4 Technical Awards. We thank you for joining us. There will be two presenters here today. Myself, Alison Whittle, a Technical Advisor for 14 to 19 and HEI Progression, and Teresa Brooks, our 14 to 19 Business Development Manager. After the webinar, we will be providing a copy of the recording of the webinar on our website and a fact sheet to answer any frequently asked questions. So to start this webinar, I hope everybody can see the presentation and hear clearly. So, talking you through the agenda today, I will be covering the City and Guilds Key Stage 4 Technical Awards and overview, our offer in the Key Stage 4, general design principles of the Technical Awards, and talking a little bit about Attainment and Progress 8, our grading equivalencies of our Technical Awards, our assessment model, delivery models and considerations, grading processes for assessments, a website navigation to where you can find the information for all of our Key Stage 4 resources and documents. We'll be looking at some progression routes, and my colleague will be talking you through the operational and administration processes. So the technical awards for 14 to 16. So the purpose of these awards are that there are broad, high quality level 2 qualifications that equip students with the applied knowledge and associated practical skills that are not normally or usually acquired through general education. Technical awards may focus on an applied study of an industry sector or occupational group, or the acquisition of practical and technical skills. These qualifications will fulfil entry requirements for both academic and vocational study post-16 alongside GCSEs. They are not designed to focus on a particular occupation or to prepare students for a particular job. All of our technical awards are 120 guided learning hours in size, which is the same size as a GCSE programme of study. Up to 3 technical awards will count towards Progress 8 and Attainment 8 performance measures in the school's performance tables. City and Guilds Technical Awards are on the Department for Education performance tables for reporting in 2018, and links and updates are available on our City and Guilds website. To summarise this slide, the main differences between the VRQs and the technical awards are the focus is on the study of the sector or occupational group rather than a specific role within the sector. They are designed to provide opportunities for learners to research a specific industry, and they are not competency-based qualifications. Our current Key Stage 4 offer includes 7 technical awards in 6 different sectors. There are 2 technical awards in the construction sector. On the right-hand side of the slide, you will see bracketed Department for Education discounted codes. If 2 qualifications have significant overlap in content, the Department for Education may apply a discounted code to them, which means although the learner achieves both qualifications and will be certificated for both, only one may count in the performance tables. Please do check, as these tables are updated twice yearly. All 7 technical awards are ready for delivery from September 2016 and will be first reported in the 2018 performance tables. City and Guilds has submitted a further Key Stage 4 qualification to the Department for Education for approval for the 2019 performance tables, and this is a technical award in vehicle technology. The numbers in red bracketed are the codes you would use to navigate through the City and Guilds website, which I'll be talking you through later on during the presentation. So all of our technical awards follow the same design principles, in such that they are all 120 guided learning hours in size, which is the same recommended guided learning hours as a GCSE. They are all made up of units that are 30 or 60 guided learning hours in size, totaling 120 overall. All have 4 possible grades, and those grades are a pass, a merit, a distinction, and a distinction star. All have an external assessment which contributes to 40% of the qualification. This is set and marked by City and Guilds and is available in both online or paper-based formats. All have a synoptic assessment. Schools may know this as a controlled assessment in the way that this is assessed. This will also be set by City and Guilds, but will be marked by centres and externally moderated by City and Guilds. And further details about the assessment model will be discussed later in the presentation. So to give a real visual of where our technical awards will sit in the performance tables, Attainment 8 will measure the achievement of a pupil across 8 subjects. These are mathematics and English in category 1, 3 further qualifications that count in the English Baccalaureate, the EBAC, measure, and 3 further qualifications from the open category, which have to be on the Department for Education approved list. So the categories are 1, 2 and 3, and technical awards, of which 3 can be used for performance measures, will be sitting in the open category. I've just put a visual really to align the grade to the new GCSE grading structure, where before we had grades A star to U, and the new GCSE grading criteria is 1 to 8. Next year it will be 9 to 1. And our grades align where we have distinction, distinction, star, merit and pass. So our distinction star is going to be aligned between an 8 and an 8.5. Our distinction will be the equivalency points wise as a 7. Our merit will be a 6. And our pass will be between a 4 and a 5, depending on off-qual decisions, which can change. They can change from year to year. So again, just another visual to have a look. So just to review, to recap what we said, it's between 8 and 8.5, 7, 6 is a merit, and a good pass is a 5, and a pass will be a 4. And these will be reported in the 2018 performance tables. Looking at the assessment model and some of the details here, what we're going to have a look at is the external assessment. Now there are 2 parts of the assessment for the technical awards. So part of it will be an external exam or assessment that will have some short answer questions. Some questions will have stretch and challenge to provide students with the opportunity to achieve the higher marks of a distinction star. And this end assessment, externally set assessment, will contribute to 40% of the overall mark. We said there will be a choice of online exam or paper-based knowledge, and the end test will cover all the mandatory knowledge or the critical knowledge required for each of the technical awards. There is only 1 resit opportunity for each of the tests and the end test. The synoptic assessment or controlled assessment, there will be no resit in the same year. And again, there's only 1 possible resit if it's not achieved first time. The synoptic assessment is going to be released to centres at the beginning of February each year. And the synoptic assessment window will be 12 weeks long, which will allow centres a period of time to complete the synoptic tasks. They will tend to be more skills or practical based tasks depending on the technical award selected. The synoptic assessment will be marked and standardised internally using City and Guilds grading objectives which are provided. The centre's marks submitted will then be externally moderated and sampled by City and Guilds. And this synoptic assessment will contribute to 60% of the overall mark. It's not possible to complete the qualification without achieving a pass in both of the components. Looking at a possible delivery model for Key Stage 4 over 1 year, and I've put this together really to give you an idea of what a 1-year delivery programme could look like. So we could begin delivery in September, which will include the induction to the course. We could deliver all of the knowledge, including the practical skills, if they're required, until February, spring term. The synoptic assessment or assignment will be released to centres 12 weeks before, which will allow centres the time to prepare for this assessment. Centres will have to register learners for the end test for the exam window 1. All dates for the exams will be available on City and Guilds website. The results of the end test will be submitted to centres by the end of May, which will then allow centres sufficient time to re-enter learners to resit in the second exam window in June, to achieve their results in August along with all of their other exam results. A normal Key Stage 2 programme tends to be delivered over a 2-year and sometimes 3-year programme. So looking at a possible delivery for 2 years, on year 1 it would maybe focus on delivery of the syllabus, looking at all of the critical knowledge and the practical skills, and a centre may feel that they want to enter learners for the June exam window in that year. Results will then be issued in August that year of year 10. So if it's a 2-year Key Stage programme, it's possible for learners to achieve the end assessment in year 10. In year 2, the synoptic assessment would be released to centres in February, again leaving enough time to prepare for this synoptic assessment. Evidence will be submitted in May, and the dates are again on the website. Now, if any of the learners need to resit the end test, it will be possible to enter in the April exam window for their resit. And again, results would be issued to centres by the end of May. There are some considerations over the new delivery programme, and it will require a holistic approach, as the full syllabus will need to be taught, as in all GCSE exams, where you would teach the whole specification. Exams and tasks are then set from the content in that specification. The main difference with the technical awards is that they are not unitised and unit assessed, relieving the burden of marking after each unit and assessing after each unit. The evidence we require, it's only the end test and the synoptic assignment, and City and Guilds provide both of those documents. There may be additional evidence that your centres will require in line with the Common Inspection Framework, and formative marking, ongoing tests, progression and evidence of tracking and progress, but City and Guilds does not require evidence of this. So just some things to consider really, that how we would look. There is no portfolio, we have no ongoing unitised assessments, you will have your own centre requirements, but it's very much teaching and learning versus assessment. It's a syllabus or specification approach, and the only evidence we require are 2 parts, which is an end test and synoptic. Both are set by City and Guilds. I appreciate there's an awful lot of information on this slide, so I'm going to try and unpick the salient points. So looking at the grading process, both assessments are provided by City and Guilds, as we discussed earlier, and the end test forms 40% of the overall grade. It's marked by City and Guilds and results are sent to centres. The synoptic assessment is also set by City and Guilds and forms 60% of the overall grade. This is internally marked by centres and externally moderated by City and Guilds via a sampling method. Both marks are then aggregated together to give an overall grade. There is no set pass mark in advance, as this is decided by an expert panel using an awarding process. A model of criterion grading is used. This means that a learner has to meet a standard, and that standard stays the same each year. There is no set percentage of learners achieving certain grades each year. I'm aware most schools would be familiar with the norm referencing model and the uniform mark scale. Although standards do stay the same, the grade boundaries may alter slightly if an assessment is deemed to be more or less demanding that year. A learner has to pass both parts of the assessment to achieve the qualification, and only one resit in either of the tasks is allowed, and the synoptic assessment there is not a resit in the same year. There are 2 exam windows for the end test in year 1, and as I said, only 1 window for the synoptic. Learners obviously can resit the synoptic the following year, but the tasks will be different. I do hope you can see this screen, because I'm going to attempt now to go through a navigation exercise to show you where you can find all the relevant information and documents for all of the Key Stage 4 technical awards. If you recall earlier on one of the slides, there were some red numbers in brackets next to the technical awards. If you have those numbers, that is the number that you would normally type into the box. I'm going to take you through a way that if you don't have these numbers, so please bear with me. We would log on to cityandguilds.com. This will bring up our website. If you know the number, you would put this number in the top box here on the far right hand side. If you don't know the number, we're going to access this through the tab called TechBack. As we open the TechBack window, we're going to scroll down and you'll see all of the information here that will give you technical qualifications, 14 to 19 reforms, study TechBack, workplace skills, employer information, news, events and research. I'm going to take you through the technical qualifications. So if we click onto the tab called Technical Qualifications, you'll see all of the information here, progression routes, UCAS points, case studies, and we're going to go to Qualification Finder here. Once I've tapped onto Qualification Finder, we're going to see that all of these qualifications here are technical. This is indicated by the red highlighted bullet point here. So if I talk you through the hair and beauty one particularly, we're going to go to beauty, have a look at the technical awards. We're going to click on to technical awards here and find that we make sure it's called the Level 2 Technical Award in hair. It's very important that we have that word technical award in. We're going to click onto this, and if we go scroll down, we've got general information and level 2, and we're going to have a look at the level 2. It will give you all of the indications, the QAN numbers and the accreditation number. We're going to go back into documents. If I open purpose and recognition, this is an amazing document that centres can use for their points of sales material in all of our awards, especially if you're looking at providing options within your curriculum. This is a perfect document that you could use to support your options evening, which gives you as much information that you could need, what subjects you would do, and it's a lovely sort of point of sale material really for parents. I'm going to go back into Centre Documents, and under every single technical award in Centre Documents you will see a resource list that has been provided for you, and the resource list, if you tap onto this, will tell you the very minimum resources that would be required to deliver any of these technical awards. This is by no means the complete list, but it gives you a minimum of what you would need to deliver. If we go on to Centre Documents, it gives you the qualification handbook, and if we press on to assessment materials, it will give you samples of the external exam and samples of the synoptic assignment, and that is available for all Key Stage 4 technical awards. I do hope this navigation exercise worked, and again I've printed it out on a slide so you can talk through and sort of use that at your leisure. So looking at progression routes now, this is another visual really to explain the possible progression routes for learners and what City and Guilds have available within this arena. All of the fields marked in red indicate the qualifications and services that City and Guilds have to support progression routes. We have functional skills and adult and numeracy and literacy in maths and English. We have our 3 technical awards for the open category, 7 in total, 3 which can count towards the open category in attainment 8, and we have other level 1 qualifications that do sit on section 96 but that do not count in the performance tables. At 16 to 18 we can clearly see progression routes through from technical awards to tech levels and technical certificates and tech back, which all information is available on the website. And of course each progression route is designed to have a very clear route to a choice of university or an apprenticeship or employment. I've sort of put together a technical level progression route for you. Now this is really for tech levels only, and it's an example of what a progression route could look like for a Key Stage 4 learner progressing to Key Stage 5. It's very important to make clear that this relates to progression from the Key Stage 4 technical awards to the Key Stage 5 technical levels in the same subject area and title only. If we look on the table, hairdressing and beauty therapy and hospitality and catering learners would have to progress onto a level 2 technical certificate at Key Stage 5 before they can take a technical level qualification at Key Stage 5 level 3. And this is due to the core skills that would be required. An example of those skills would include skills such as knife skills of slicing and dicing and shampooing and conditioning hair, where learners would be expected to have acquired these skills as they would not be taught at advanced level 3. If a learner wishes to study a very specific craft, for example carpentry and joinery, bricklaying or electrical installation, they would have to complete a level 2 craft qualification before they could progress onto a level 3, again to ensure that learners have the relevant skills required. So I do hope that's clear. If to take another example, for construction or digital, it is possible for a learner to complete a technical award at Key Stage 4 level 2 and progress directly onto the technical level 3, providing it is the same title and it's a technical level and does not include very specific skills for building services. So I do hope you've got a clear line of sight to employment, apprenticeship or higher education, and we do understand that colleges and centres will set their own entry requirements depending on learners' prior attainment at GCSE grades at a pass or above. So I'd like to hand you over now to my colleague Teresa, who will talk you through the processes and the documentation of what are the next stages. So thank you very much for listening.
Hello everyone. City & Guilds has a number of resources that centres will find useful when they're delivering the technical awards. We have qualification handbooks for each technical award, and we have sample synoptic and external end tests for each technical award. We have resource checklists for each award, which will set out the minimum requirements that you would need to deliver those qualifications. And we have some guidance on teaching, learning and assessment, marking and moderation, and exam timetables. The Marking and Moderation Centre guidance has recently been updated, so I would encourage centres to have a look at version 1.1 that went on our website in November. In terms of support, we offer network meetings, regional tutor events and webinars. We have a customer service direct team, which is a dedicated telephone service to help support you with any general inquiries. We have specific qualification support coordinated by Alison, the 14 to 19 technical advisor. And we have myself, I'm the 14 to 19 business development manager, who can support with processes and operational inquiries. For any questions about specific qualifications, these should go through to Alison Whittle, and she will answer them where she can. If they are about technical aspects of the qualification, it might mean that she has to pass these to one of our technical advisors. As these are not, our technical awards are not competency-based qualifications, we don't envisage that centres will need specific technical support. So, our approval process for existing and new centres. If you are an existing City & Guilds centre, you will just need to submit a qualification approval form via our walled garden system. You will be allocated an external quality assurance advisor who will look at your qualification approval form, and they will arrange an approval and support visit to your centre for that qualification approval. What they will do is leave you with an EQAV form which will set out any actions that you need to take. The cost for submitting a QAP for a technical award is £200 per qualification. There are no fast track approvals for Key Stage 4, and just to note, there are no direct claim status either for certificates, because we give the grading, overall grading for the end test and the synoptic assignment. If you are a new centre and not approved with City & Guilds for any other qualifications, we would ask that you read the City & Guilds Centre Manual. You will need to submit a customer application form and just tell us what you want to offer. You will be contacted and given a walled garden number so you can submit a centre approval qualification approval form via walled garden. And we do consider qualifications together where possible. So if you were looking at delivering both construction qualifications, put them both down on the QAP and you'll just have the one fee to pay. An EQA visit will be arranged and carried out at your centre, and again you will have an EQAV form which will highlight any actions that you need to take. Have a look at our resource checklist on our under the relevant technical awards. That will help you with looking at the resources that you need at your centre to be able to deliver the qualification. The cost of submitting a centre approval qualification approval form for new centres is £2,500. If you haven't got a minimum of 100 students, please get in touch and we will talk you through your plans to see how we can help. In terms of our administrative processes, you will need to register students on walled garden at the start of the academic year. And you will have some support. There is a YouTube video about how to do that, and there's an online tutorial. So have a look at those. It would be a case of going into walled garden, selecting the digit code, City and Guilds digit code for the technical award, and registering learners. So what we do have is an exam timetable. Now the end tests are taken on set dates at set times, and we will have those exams available through an online test or a paper-based version. What you will need to do is tell us in which year you want your learners to sit the end test and the synoptic assessment. And there's a link here to the document which outlines the times and the dates of the external assessments for 2017. So the key dates for centres are that you need to get qualification approval and centre approval, if appropriate, by the 1st of November. And that will be the same for next year. For learners, you will need to put their assessment registration in by 20th of January 2017. That is for any learner that's sitting their exam in summer 2017. You will need to give us the names of those learners. We release the synoptic assessment to you on the 1st of February, and there is an exam window for the end theory test. These for technical awards will fall between the 24th and the 28th of April, but please do have a look at that exam timetable. The exam window for the second test for technical awards fall between the 19th and the 30th of June, and again look at the timetable. The synoptic practical assessments, the date when centres have to upload marks and evidence is the 19th of May 2017. And there aren't any optional units for technical awards, so that's not relevant for these qualifications. So we issue the final results in line with GCSE results in August. And here are our contact details if you want to get in touch. Alison, who's the Technical Advisor 14 to 19 and HEI Progression, will be able to help centres with a general qualification overview, any questions regarding performance measures and performance points, requirements for delivering the qualifications, and she will act as a coordinator if centres need more specific technical advice. Myself, Teresa, I'm the 14 to 19 Business Development Manager. I promote technical awards to potential and existing centres. I'm the point of contact for centres interested in offering our technical awards. I support centres with submission of centre and qualification approvals, and I support approved centres with City and Guilds processes. Thank you for your time today. Please get in touch if you have any further queries, and we will be uploading a list of our frequently asked questions to the website.